Hey y'all, happy Monday, my savvy service provider scaling to 10K months. I am so excited to be back. We have taken a couple weeks off, but today we have a really great topic that I'm just really fired up about. And it's my easy, like super simple approach to creating over $1 million in lifetime cash while being a mama of three, while working only part time for the past 9 years. So we're going to dive into that because this is something that I just like it doesn't get talked about enough. It's not really the sexy thing. Even me, I talk about breakthrough offers and being the thing that gets you high ticket, and it is. And this is something so much more simple. And showing up to scale online, like yes, that gets you noticed and paid by high ticket clients, but this is even more simple. And so we're going to dive into that. Let me pull myself up in the group. Um, how's everybody doing with your summer? My kids are home. This is like our first real official week of summer. I've got a babysitter this year. We're doing a couple camps. In the past, I have like blown out my nervous system and bank account with camps and having to keep spreadsheets to keep track of everything. This year, I'm keeping it super simple. They're each doing one camp, and then I have a sitter coming between the hours of 9:30 and 2 when they're normally at school. So they're all just having lunch right now out there. So that's what we're rolling with. We took off a couple weeks for Memorial Day. My youngest daughter graduated kindergarten, so that was a really big week. We had all day field trips for her, days off, and just to let you know, this can be like May was one of my bigger months, and I was not super focused on work, and so it kind of comes to what we're talking about today, the easy approach I use to cross 1 million in lifetime revenue. So that is like what so much of my May was about. Like I created $26,000 of new revenue, and I wasn't that focused on it, and it's from what we're talking about today. Let me pull myself into the group. If you're here, say hi, just anything to tell me I'm on the right track. Let me know if you have questions. I'll do a giveaway. I'll give away a free session if you're here and say hi, or literally anything will get you entered to win, and then we'll announce that on Friday. Let me know how your summer's going because we're here. Um, but let's jump in. I don't think I have any other housekeeping stuff. Oh, I do have an intensive opening up this month. I have a week-long coaching intensive. So if you know me, this will be the third year in a row that I've taken the month of July off. So I have people who are starting June 1st for one-to-one. I have people who are booking one-to-one for August, but all I can really offer you right now are the week-long coaching intensives. And so we can kind of talk about what that could look like, but I'll drop a link below. We can have a call. This is literally zero pressure to see if 1 week would be the right fit for you in your business right now and what we could use that week for. So just putting that out there, and let's dive in. Okay, so let me know if you have questions along the way. We are talking about the $1 million secret that most online service providers overlook. So I mentioned this in my stories a couple weeks ago. I booked, it was $26,300 in sales in 1 week. And I wasn't even focused on making sales or, booking consults. Like that was the week my daughter graduated kindergarten. So I was literally like providing one-to-one client support. Hi, Sandy. Welcome. Glad you're here. I do a giveaway. We give away a free call for anyone who joins live and interacts. So you are in a good place. We'll announce the winner on Friday, but you are entered to win because you commented and let me know your question. And let me know if I get distracted or miss what I'm talking about because that happens sometimes. But glad you're here. So I booked $26,000 of sales, and this is sales. This is not cash. So, the difference between cash and revenue. This was 26,300 that will become revenue over the next few months. Obviously not July because that's a skip month with my one-to-one clients. We take the month off. But this was a lot of sales in 1 week that I was not focused on work. I mean, my youngest was graduating kindergarten. That was a big deal for my mom heart. Like we had been at this school for 8 years. I was processing a lot, but $26,000 in sales in 1 week is not something that I can't not share with you and talk about here because this matters so much in my results and why I've been able to cross 1 million while only working part-time with my kids at home, the support that I provide my clients, because most people are focused on the next launch, the next sale, the next follower, the next client. And what they're doing is they're inadvertently leaving so much just, I hate to say easy cash and clients behind, but the easiest path to 10K, 20K, 30K months isn't always finding something new. It's not even your high ticket offer all the time. It's not even showing up in a way that gets you seen and paid, but it's literally building a business where your clients can stay. And I know, like, don't hop off. You're like, Jordan, that's too freaking simple. Do not hop off. I've got more to say, because after crossing 1 million in lifetime revenue, I can confidently say that client renewals are literally like the quiet engine of my business success. Like, again, yes, I preach high ticket offers. Yes, showing up online. But this model of having clients who renew over and over and over for years and years, like, it's not loud, it's not flashy, it's not sexy, like, but it is so sustainable, it is so scalable, and it's so much more simple than just chasing cold leads every single month. So that's what we're talking about today. So I've got some numbers from my business to share with you. This is literally pulled from my QuickBooks. I went in, just sorted, lifetime revenue by client. One client has paid me over $95,000 because they've renewed so many times. I have another client who has paid me $79,000. I have another client who has paid me $68,000. Another client has paid me $48,000. Another has paid me $40,600. Another has paid me $38,000. Another has paid me $20,000. I have multiple clients who have paid me $18,000. Like, I have had clients stay for 2, for 4, even 8 rounds of coaching. We've worked together for years. And this is like the quiet, unspoken secret of my over 1 million in cash while only working while my kids are at school, or working while I have a sitter, between the hours that they would be at school. And they've renewed with me for so long because I don't just help them hit one goal. I help them build a sustainable business that just keeps evolving, that keeps booking more clients, that no matter what the economy or the industry or consumer behavior is doing, like, they fundamentally know their business works for them, and they can attract high ticket clients, they can convert them, they can keep things running, whether they have to hire team members or change team members. I have multiple clients who have gone through that now and in the past few months, who are letting people go, hiring new people. There's so much that comes with running a multi 6 and 7 figure business that once they have the support, they don't want to let it go. I know them, I know their families. They get me unlimited in their back pocket. Like, I am in Voxer multiple times a day. They know I show up 1,000% on their one-to-one sessions, and this is what keeps them running when other businesses are just, like, failing or things stop working. Like, things never stay the same in business. Things never just go up, up, and up forever and ever. And so what I'm doing with these clients is helping them, no matter what's going on, they keep still moving and changing with whatever's going on, so they can still keep booking clients. So that's the work that I do with my clients. And so, having a breakthrough offer has helped me create over millions. Having a, showing up to sell, showing up to scale sales process has helped me create $1 million. But it really comes down to these renewals that are like the unsexy part of creating so much cash while working part-time as a mom of 3, and I take the entire month of July off. That is just so much of it. So we're going to dive into that today with some things you can take away in your business, because this is something, again, I work with clients on all the time. So if you needed more proof other than my numbers, I pulled some stats. These are from ChatGPT. I'm sure the internet has tons of stats everywhere about this, but what I found was that the probability of selling to an existing client is 60 to 70% versus 5 to 20% with a new client. And I'll even use my own stats. I mean, my clients renew with me more often than they don't. Like, I should have looked up the percentage, but I did not. But, clients renew with me so high. And it is like, if you look at sales numbers, it's so much easier to convert an existing client or someone who's already purchased from you rather than someone who is totally cold and new. Like, the probability, I mean, if you look at that again, 5 to 20% with a new client, 60 to 70% with someone who has worked with you and has that experience with you, that is staggering. that is something to think about and notice in business. Another stat that, could be like 10 different things depending on where you look on the internet, but the cost to acquire a new client I found was 7 times more than to retain one. And again, that number could like fluctuate depending on where you're looking, but it does cost so much more to bring on a new client than it does to just have a reoccurring one. Like, think about your time, your team's time, onboarding, setting up, invoicing, like getting all of that in place. When I have a first initial call with someone, we're going over the, logistics and like expectations and boundaries and all of that stuff. And when it's like someone I've worked with for years, it's just like, yay, I'm so excited to continue working with you. And we just keep going. And even like buying a renewal gift is so much easier because I just know them so well. Like all of those costs and time are significantly decreased. Y'all feel free to jump in. Oh, good. Let's see. Emily says repeat clients are the best business strategy out there. Yes, Emily. Thank you. You get it. It is not the sexiest thing. Like if I did a post about this, it's not going to be one of my best performing posts, but it is like the unspoken secret to literally getting everything you want. And then Emily says, do you consider your 6-month one-to-one support your breakthrough offer? Definitely, yes. So bookkeeping is like low ticket, done for you hourly. We still have those clients come in. I do not market for that at all. I've just been around for 9 years. So like it just comes in. Like we just had a bookkeeping client refer someone to us. Great. Amazing. But my breakthrough offer is definitely the 6-month one-to-one. Even the intensives, I mean, even that is something that gives someone so much more of a transformation. Those are more than like months of my bookkeeping services. So yes, breakthrough offers. Like I preach that all the time. I preach showing up online to sell, but like this is like the third thing. And like, obviously I need to have a breakthrough offer to have the renewals, but like my results kind of aren't normal for a lot of coaches out there. Like most people don't have the amount of renewals that I have, but I have them because my clients get amazing results, and that comes from the breakthrough offer. But and I'm kind of going off on a tangent here, but I know that renewals are something that like I take for granted, but my coach, because I have a one-to-one coach, reflected to me was like, that's kind of not the norm. Oh my gosh, these dance mom text messages are blowing up. They're distracting me. But this can be the norm. Like what I am saying, like the client that's paid me, what was it? I mean, the top one was like $95,000. Like that's not normal, but for me, it's so normal because my clients just freaking love this work and love the support. And so that's why I'm always doing these week-long coaching intensives. That's what so much of the support I provide my one-to-one 6-month container clients is about, creating something that is that good that people don't want to leave, because that's just not typical with online service providers. It's like we're so used to, not to say CRAP, but like there's a lot of CRAP out there. And when you are someone who is legit and good at what you do and on it and helps your clients with a real service, like when I work with someone, I am discerning for fit that they are the real deal, because I'm not going to work with someone like, I've had bookkeepers come to me who wanted to convert to or pivot to high ticket, but they basically just wanted to be like a factory with like people coming in, or they didn't have the bookkeeping knowledge that they needed to even offer higher level services. And I'm not going to work with those people. Like, I'm sorry, like if they aren't the real deal, I'm not going to support them. And so I don't know what got me off on this tangent, but that is why like I'm discerning for fit so much, is because I build these long-term relationships and because I help people get actual results, because they are who they say they are. They do have the skills that will serve them to get paid these amounts and back up somebody renewing with you 8, 9, 10 times. Like we just have to have that, and not everyone has that. So again, this is like unspoken, not sexy thing here, but I love y'all's questions, Sandy, Emily. Thank y'all so much. Keep them coming at me. And if I get off track, let me know and bring me back. But when your clients renew, you're skipping that time intensive sales process. And not that anything is wrong with a time intensive sales process. Like I am totally fine with clients now, clients later. I recently had someone hired me. We had a best fit call like over a year ago, and she just recently hired me. So like I'm not going to make it wrong that it was a long sales process. That's just literally kind of the game we're playing with high ticket, and especially one to one. But when someone renews, it's like, okay, cool. Today, yesterday was the first. Like we've already got invoicing ready and set up and it's going out. I'm getting paid already. And it's not like I'm having to do all this other stuff. You also bypass the need to convince them or educate them from scratch. I mean, my clients know, what they're getting into. We don't have to like start over with training them on the platforms that we use or my expectations. When you have people renew, you're also just increasing the lifetime value and compounding your revenue without adding more work. Like that is the most scalable business model there is. Everyone is trying to think about like passive income or how can I make more money and do less. And it's like, well, this is kind of it. And I don't mean like do less, because I over deliver for my clients frequently from a place of just like, I freaking love what I do. But it's like I get to do less because if I know most of my clients typically renew, I don't have to stress every month like when people are popping up for renewals or what's going to happen. Like I can pretty much like not revenue project, because you never really know. And part of my, investment with working with me is revenue share, and that's totally out of my control. But I can kind of easily, since I've been doing one-to-one for almost 5 years now, kind of project what it's going to be from at any given point, in a conservative manner, so I can know my costs are covered and, all of that. But it just makes your life so much more simple. And as a parent or someone who has another job or has another business, like that's just what our brains need, is something to be simple. So this is exactly what my type of business model does. It's if I have crossed $1 million in cash with like a lean high one-to-one retention model, and what I support my clients to do, because not all of my clients have the same business model as me. I have one-to-one. Many of my clients have one-to-one. Some of them have courses, launch models, like they kind of run the gamut. Some of them are literally in person. I'm looking outside because like I have clients who are like holistic, have done holistic gardening, or in person, high ticket, moving and organizing, market research. Like I have people who run the gamut. But what we're doing with all of them is exactly this, and that's how they're able to get such great results. So the problem that I see so often is that too many service providers are just kind of stuck in that cycle of like find, convert, replace. You get a client, you deliver your heart out, then they leave, and then you're back to square one trying to fill the gap. And this like kind of churn and burn is kind of my opinion why so many people in the online space just kind of like burn out, or they feel like they never have predictable revenue. And they feel just so like graspy because they don't have this kind of predictability. And again, like I can't predict what any of my clients are going to do. Like if someone is with me for 4 years, I can't not, I don't have a crystal ball to know that they will always renew with me. There may be a time where that coaching container in this relationship is like they feel complete and they're done. But for the most part, like I kind of reliably know what's going to happen. And so that just helps my brain. It helps all of our brains just kind of have that security. And again, security, safety, control. We don't really have any of that, but this model, having clients who renew, having clients who love to buy from you, having clients who say working with you is the best investment they ever made, that is the most reliable control, sense that we can possibly get in business. So common mistakes that keep this like churn and burn cycle alive is that you're not setting up clients to stay. And again, this is what I'm doing with my clients on week-long coaching intensives, is really setting yourself up so that they can, because you don't want to just solve an immediate problem. You need to build a container that can grow with you. So, again, like I'll use myself as an example, a week-long coaching intensive, like we solve an immediate problem, but then the 6 months is really set up to like have that play out, because there's no just like, here's the perfect formula for your breakthrough offer, and then you just ride off into the sunset and everything works out perfectly. It's like, no, like there's a lot of stuff that comes with that, with being able to market it, being able to position it, be able to attract people on sales calls, being able to convert the sales calls. So it's like, I know that the intensive solves this immediate problem, but that opens a whole can of worms, opens a whole door to other things that come with that. And that's why clients go into the 1-to-1 6-month container. That's why they renew over and over, because there's all these levels and layers that come with building a multi six-figure business. Like if it was just strategy, we would all have the same results, but that's not the game we're playing. There's so much that comes with it. Same for my clients is really figuring out, and this is why knowing what you bring to the table, your audience, what they're struggling with, that is so, so important. It's not taking what you see someone do online and copying and pasting it and trying to make it work for you, because that's when most people don't get the results they want, don't book clients, but it's really creating something that supports your people where they're at and solving a problem. So the other piece I see that's a common mistake that keeps the cycle alive is that you kind of assume people don't want to keep going. And I know people are like, no, I would never assume that, but you would be shocked how many of my clients, this is the conversation we're having, is that they kind of assume that when the 3-month container or the 6 months or, a year long, whatever wraps up, that they are complete and finished and they don't actually crave that, deeper support. Or in their mind, they're like, okay, they already spent all this money. They couldn't possibly spend more and renew. Like there's so much that comes up with just people's expectations and what they're available for. And so that is part of this work and part of this cycle. Because it sounds like, no, I would never block myself from a client wanting to renew with me, but we do it all the time. Again, I've seen clients not set themselves up. Like so much of the support I give them is with renewals and how to position it and have those conversations. And I've got notes about this a little bit later, but that is a big thing. Let me know if y'all have any more questions about that one. But another thing I see so often that keeps this cycle going is that you haven't created an offer ecosystem that evolves with them. Like maybe you're only selling like starter offers. And if that's the case, you'll always need beginners, but we need to think about what's going to serve them later. I don't know if I'm talking about this. I have a client who comes to mind and she supports people with a very specific point in their lives. She's not, I don't want to like give away details, but she's supporting people at a very distinct moment in their life. And once they're done with that, then they kind of fall off as a client. And so our work has been, how do we keep them? How do we retain them? And so that's been really fun because she's done super well. I mean, she has like 32K launches, as someone who came from like 4K months to now having 32K launches multiple times a year. That is huge to keep all these people in and selling to them. And so slowly we are working on new offers to add in with that, because it's like we did this offer and got it to a certain point and it's amazing. And so now is the time to like stack that next layer or level on top. So it's not like, okay, we're creating the breakthrough offer and we're doing all this stuff at the same time. It's literally like we have a solid foundation. We know how to consistently sell shit out of this offer. And so now we are stacking that piece on, which some people it does look like, okay, we do it all at once. But in this case, that would have been way too much, especially as someone, she's a mom, she takes off Fridays in the summer. Like we got to do one thing at a time sometimes. Okay, Emily says, do you have a reduced frequency offer for only renewing clients, not a public offering? Personally, I don't. But I mean, I can see where that would be super helpful. So I think what you're saying, and let me know if I'm, oh, wrong. Hold on. Here's your other comment. Are you doing a special renewal offers, like a benefit for signing on and on again? So hopefully I'll answer these in tandem. Mine is when clients renew with me and what I recommend. My clients do, obviously we're not working together, Emily, right now, but this is what I would recommend. When clients renew, they lock in where they are. And so for me, if I raise rates or I raise like my revenue share amount, the clients who renew and, keep staying in the container, they lock in that rate. And so that's super valuable for people. If you are someone who plans to raise rates, I do this with clients all the time. Like we know we're going to raise rates. We're kind of like staggering the rates. And so when someone gets in and you're like, you're getting on the ground floor, like this will never be as low as it is. If you keep renewing, you lock in your rate and we grandfather them in. Is that what you're asking about renewal, special renewal offers? But yeah, and then you could always think of, I mean, I can't sit here and give you like every example, but think about what a benefit would be for them other than, okay, if you're like, this is kind of the highest I can ever see myself going right now. It doesn't feel like I would be in integrity by going higher, or like that just doesn't feel right to me. Then we would think of something else to increase it. You need something? Um, yeah, just give me like 15, 20 minutes, okay? All right. Oh, never a dull moment. Um, so yes, having something that is a renewal benefit. If it's not locking in the price, then I would think about it being something else. Um, yes, that was what I meant for a special renewal offer. Thank you. Thank you for bringing it back. And then the reduced frequency offer for only renewing clients. Is that just when like someone, like if it's up to my clients if they want to email me and be like, you don't have to ask for a renewal every 6 months. I want to just renew every year. Like I would be down for that. I don't know if that's what you mean, reduced frequency offer, or just having another offer that you don't publicly sell. Like that's definitely an option too, is something that like, because they've been a client, you're willing to do XYZ every month at kind of a lower rate because you knew that you set it up on the front end and you know it's good and solid and you don't have to fix anything. You just need to put it in maintenance mode. And so, yes, you'd be willing to kind of have that go every month. Or like that's something I could see, like a subcontractor, like you have a sub who comes in and is kind of doing something on maintenance mode because you were the one who set it up with them. Or, and again, like if you want to get specific, feel free to drop it here. But that's something that's really easy that, you know, a sub could deliver on. You'd still have high profit margins on that. You'd still have the client who renews with you and probably never wants to leave you. And then that's just kind of recurring revenue for you every month. Does that answer your question? Make sense? But what you're saying about creating space for them to go is what I think of for like less calls or Voxer only at a lower rate. It's like less calls or Voxer. Yeah. So, you know, that's something to think about. If you worked with a client, really high touch, really in depth, 3 months, 6 months, a year, and then you're like, okay, yeah, normally I don't do Voxer only, or normally I don't do one call a month, but for this person, if they're feeling like they don't need this level of support, maybe they don't want 3 or 4 calls a month or whatever it is, like that could definitely be something. Is that what you're talking about? Like I would for sure have something in your back pocket that you're like, totally hear you if this highest level isn't like exactly what you need anymore, but cutting off to nothing is also just like a lurch. So there is that middle piece, but it's not like a landing page where you're like, Voxer only support. It would literally like, they'd have to be a client and be in the door to have access to that. I think that's what you're talking about, Emily. Yeah, that's what I meant. Okay. Does that make sense? Like for sure. And that's something that you'd still sell and position to the client. It would just be, yeah, something that is like, because you've been a client, just to honor, and that's what I say, like to honor the work that we've done together, I'm going to keep your rate the same. Back pocket only for clients. Exactly. Yeah. And it's like, to me, that's part of honoring your work with someone. Like if someone's worked with me for 4 years and I raise my rate, I'm going to honor what we've done together and that they've renewed with me all this time, and I'm going to keep their rates or their revenue share the same. Whereas like new people coming in the door, you know, that wouldn't be the same. That wouldn't be the case. Or they want to leave and come back, you know, they wouldn't have that rate. And so it's kind of the same thing here, is like, because we've done this work together and I want to honor you and still support you and not leave you in a lurch or leave you hanging, here's what we've got for you. So yeah, 1,000%. Let me know if you have any more questions about that, Emily, but I think we got that one. Let's see. Okay. So the shift is, you know, you don't need more cold leads. You just need a high ticket offer people want to stay in. And again, this goes back to being in integrity, being who you say you are, serving the shit out of your clients, but really knowing what that is. So this is, again, something in like a week-long coaching intensive, but don't think I need to expand on that anymore. Like the shift to have people renew is to have that high ticket offer that really people want to stay in. Like I think of it as, for my clients, yes, they're paying me an investment to work with me, but it's like if you can put $1 in a slot machine and get 10 back, that's a bet you're going to take every time. And so that's a bet that they just keep taking. So think about for you, what is that bet? Like what is that ROI that is giving them such a return? Even if it's not like they make it back in an instant. Cause I mean, I can't say every client makes their investment back like 2 months. Like that would be such bullshit. But think about even if it's like months later, what is that ROI that is so huge that it just makes so much sense for them to have done it and keep doing it. And then another shift is just a clear path to re-enrollment. This is a huge opportunity for so many of my clients. It's part of mindset and part strategy. So we're kind of like dealing with dealing with both of those depending on like where they are. I support so many clients in creating the emails and the pitches and even like having sales conversations with those clients. And when they do, I've had a client recently who when she came to me, she was charging stupidly low rates. Like with all the love in the world, I love this person, but she was bending over backwards, providing so much value, providing so much support for so low rates that yes, people were renewing, but she felt so resentful with those rates. She felt like it just was not even worth it. She was getting, irritated. And so we had to raise those rates. And it was like having the conversations about it. She went from like 150 a month to 350 a month. And then we're still going to go up to 450 a month. But there will be people who fall off. And so much that she had to wrap her head around was like, yes, it's still the same support. It's the same effort for her. But she had to wrap her head around being able to like quote unquote justify the higher rate. And then also seeing for her where she stood in terms of like what trade-off are you willing to make? Are you willing to make this trade-off that everyone stays, but they're still at 150 an hour or 150 a month? Or, is it okay if we have some people leave? Like she had a few people drop off, but with her new higher rate, it didn't matter. And it felt so much better for her energetically. So again, it's like this balance of mindset and support so that I'm helping her craft the emails, helping her position it to them so that it's not just like, here's this huge jump, take it or leave it. Like really helping someone see, the communication around it, being available for a conversation, like understanding like it's not just the price, like there's so much more that comes with it. So that's the part about like pivoting to this is like having that opportunity and that path of re-enrollment, with your mindset, what you're available for, kind of what your expectations are, and then like literally what does that look like? What are we saying? What are we pricing? How are we positioning it? How are we having the calls with them? That is like a huge part of that shift. And then the mindset that it's also safe to invite clients into the next level of work. Again, like I already touched on this a little bit, but she had so much mindset trash around, she was delivering the same services but at a higher rate, but we had to work through all of that. Like she had to be so on board with her new, like renewing rate before we could roll that out to clients. And that's just something that like we did with our coaching. Like she couldn't just like bypass that and then, kind of like triple the monthly rate and like have that work out well and feel really good about it, or like backpedal. I see a lot of people do that. They backpedal when something gets uncomfortable, when they get a little pushback from clients, when someone doesn't renew, they question themselves and they start like, oh, never mind, that wasn't a great idea. And so we just had to get her to a place where she was just so freaking solid and sold on it that it was just kind of a no-brainer for her potential, or, the potential renewal. They were already a client, but it was just the positioning of it. And some people weren't even the right fit, so we didn't even pitch it to them. So that's just something to think about. And like with my clients who have courses or launch models, we work together to create offers that people can keep buying after that. And we also create offers that majorly upsell that course or launch or that program in the moment. So like thinking of it is like, okay, trajectory of going forward so that current clients can keep buying from you for the next 6 months, 5 years, whatever. And in the moment now, like what is, and this doesn't again make sense for everyone. Like for my one-to-one support, it's one-to-one support. I build traffic dashboards for you. I know ads. I run ads. I have gotten trained for that in my own business, and I have a crazy ROI and a stupid low CPL. Like I bring all that to the table for my clients, and it's not like a extra charge on top of it to like build them traffic dashboards or anything. Like it literally just comes from working with me. So that might not always be the case, but for some of my clients, it is like, okay, you can stack this extra layer of support on. So think about that in terms of like clients, people who have already paid you, renewing. It's like going forward and also upselling in the moment so that you can like capture more of that like right now. Just had a call today with someone about advisory services. So it is advisory and it's bookkeeping. So it's basically like a bookkeeping upsell and the trajectory of revenue for months and months to come. So it could be kind of like both at the same time. So y'all let me know if that makes sense. I think that's all I've got. I don't know. I've got a couple notes, but it's basically like this just freaking works. Like I can't say any more about it. Like I am so sold on this. This is why I work with my clients to do this exact same thing. It's just something I've literally kind of stumbled on in my business because it wasn't like, I started 9 years ago, like I'm going to create $1 million cash business working part-time and it's going to be done, the first 5 years of bookkeeping and then I'm going to go one-to-one and then everybody's going to renew and keep working with me for years. And it was not that. It just happened to be like, oh shit, like after, doing this for so long, 4 years with some of my clients, I'm like, I have staggering numbers. I have staggering data. And then even looking at my low ticket, like some of those clients have been with me since day one, since I opened my doors, since they opened their doors. And so this is something I kind of just stumbled on, but it doesn't mean it's not any more important. It might be a little less sexy. If I do a post about it next week, it's probably not going to go viral, but this is when your clients stay. You spend less time selling, you spend less time onboarding, your team spends less time, you have more predictable revenue. Like you can build a business where everything literally just compounds. Like one of my favorite affirmations is the better it gets, the better it gets, the better it gets. It's like you can just keep compounding good on good on good on good. And you're not just in this lurch every month. So it's not about launching every month. It's not about having to start over with strangers all the time. You can build real depth. And I'm just an introvert. I like building real relationships. So this is like my joy of my life, to work with people for years. And you build real cash flow. And I mean, honestly, yes, high ticket, showing up online in a way that gets you, paid, and having people who just love to work with you, who sing your praises. We didn't even talk about that. That wasn't even on my list, but people who refer you, clients sending me clients, randomly. It's just so fun to have a best fit call because so-and-so referred. And it's like, freaking amazing is that? Like your clients can do the selling for you. Like obviously I still show up and sell myself, but when people do it for you, it's great too. It's just an added benefit. So, if you're tired of chasing cold leads, wanting to build a strategy and an offer suite and just a business that just is, like builds momentum, like a snowball rolling down a hill, and it just keeps building and building without you having to do another launch or another funnel or another offer. It's like, that's what we can do in a week-long coaching intensive. That's what I do with my one-to-one support. Again, we're not doing a lot this summer in terms of like one-to-one new clients, but for the right person, I would start sooner than later. We've got people booking for August because that's just like what feels like the best for us and where they are right now. But again, for the right person, could start a little sooner. And then we've got week-long coaching intensives that I open up in June. So if you want to build an offer that sells on repeat, has your clients want to renew with you, grab a coaching consult. I'll put the link below. We want to create predictable, peaceful revenue so that you feel good, your clients feel good. Like that's literally why we do what we do. I know if you're here, you're heart centered, like you want your clients to have amazing results and have an amazing experience. And so that's like what we're doing here. So let me know if you have comments. If anyone's watching the replay, drop the comments. We'll catch them later. And again, thank y'all so much for being here. I have loved having this conversation. Thank y'all for your questions and for being here. I'll see you next week. Bye.